All right. So I'm steering the plane with my feet, controlling that little nose wheel at the front. What we're going to do before we take off is I have to do what we call an engine run-up. I have to make sure the engine's operating properly before we lift off the ground. So I'm going to take the plane, I'm going to turn it into the wind. And the way I know where the wind is I see that.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's called a wind sock. So there we go, and we're now into the wind. I have my feet on the brakes, and I'm going to add power. Right here is my RPMs, my tachometer. I'm going to go to 4,000 RPMs. I'm putting stress on the engine on purpose. And then now I'm going to shut off parts of the ignition. So I'm shutting off the left side, and I'm watching how much that drops. It dropped around 100 RPM. Now I'm going back to all of them. Now I'm going to check the right side. And it dropped 100 RPM. Okay. So they're matched. That means ignitions are operating properly.
Okay.
So now I'm going to reduce the power. Now I'm just going to get taxiing this way. All right. So what I'm going to do is now we're going to taxi out this way. We're going to go all the way to the beginning of the runway, which is there, turn around, and we're going to take off into the wind.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a radio announcement here.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankees on the back track 3-1.
That's a runway, 3-1?
Correct. So runways, if you've ever seen pictures or things in movies or TV, they have numbers on them.
Yeah.
The runway number on this side is 3-1, and on the other side it's 1-3, 13. The reason why is if you've ever looked at a compass before, the compass has those numbers on there. So in the case of this compass, we're going down 1-2, almost 1-3. Now it's 1-3. So that's why this direction's called 1-3. On the compass heading is 1-3.
That's how all the runways are marked and nicknamed?
Yep. So you'll see, you'll see 2-5 or 3-1. And that means compass heading 3-1 when you're taking off.
That's a camera showing the runway?
That's GPS.
Okay.
So this aircraft has a full GPS suite in it that's able to know where we are, and it's doing its math for us. All right, so the way this flight's going to go today, I'm going to turn around, line up on the runway, going to go full power with the airplane. I'm going to take off. We're going to leave the area of the airport. Within about 3 minutes or so, I'm going to start teaching you how to control it, okay?
Okay.
And for the hour, you're probably going to be flying it the majority of the time.
Awesome.
All right, man. So you ready for this?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to pull this control stick over to here because I'm going to have to start pulling back on it and stuff. So just watch that you don't block it.
Okay. Yeah.
But other than that, we're good.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankees on the roll 3-1. Straight climb out 2,000 feet.
So I'm adding power, full power. I'm steering with my feet, and I'm just driving down the runway. And we're off the ground just like that.
Oh, wow, that was easy.
Are you afraid of heights at all?
No.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome. This must be your, like, few thousand of a flight?
Oh, yeah. I've been flying, I started flying at 16. Near 40, so I've been flying a while. So right now we're just climbing nice and straight. What I'm watching as a pilot right now is I'm keeping an eye on this right here. That's how fast we're moving through the air. That's called our airspeed. I always want to make sure the airspeed in this aircraft is at least above 55, 60. Okay. So right now we're doing 70, that's safe. If it starts going too slow, then you can have problems. It can then stop flying all of a sudden, called a stall. We're not going to do any of that crazy stuff today, though. Yeah. We're just going to go for a nice flight and let you learn how to fly a bit. Okay. So right now I'm coming up on 2,000 feet. This tells us how high above sea level we are. Here's 2,000 feet, leveling off. And I'm reducing power a little bit here.
Where do you see the power on
The power's right here,
yeah.
is the RPMs.
Okay.
So when it's below 5,000 RPM, that's like cruising around. When I want to climb, I go more.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just going to make another radio announcement, let that people around this airport know that we're leaving the area.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, departing your zone to the northwest, 2,000 feet.
All right, so the sky is yours today. The direction of travel is yours today. I can give you a couple locations we can go to, and you're going to start flying. That way is Collingwood, Blue Mountain.
Yes.
That way is Penetanguishene, Midland. That way is Barrie. Further that way is like Newmarket towards Toronto way.
Yeah.
In an hour, we can cover a lot of ground. Is there any particular direction you'd like to go?
You can go up to Blue Mountain
Sure. Okay.
area.
All right.
Over the water or no?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to go too far over the water in case the engine ever failed. I don't want to be landing in the water.
Yeah.
But we can go to the water and then fly along. So that's Georgian Bay right here.
Yes.
Down over here is Wasaga Beach.
Yeah.
All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hand and put it on the control stick. You can pick whatever hand you'd like. And I want you to feel what it's like to turn an aircraft. We're going to do it together.
Okay.
The first motion I'm going to teach you is called roll, which is responsible for turning. Roll is when you do this with a plane.
Okay.
So we're going to take this plane and we're going to turn it to the right by rolling. So we're going to take it, just a nice gentle roll. It will keep getting steep, so we're going to push back. Easy, easy. That's it. I just want you to do it with me at first.
Yeah.
So we're rolling to the right, and now we're going to roll back. Level, and we just shake it like that to get it level again.
Okay.
Now we're going to go left. If you don't pull it back, it will go upside down, so you have to watch out.
Okay.
You don't want to do that. This plane is not built for flying upside down, so we don't want to do that because it could break apart. So that's pretty decent. That's a turn. Very basic rolling. Next thing we can do is called pitch, which is up and down. The way we know it's happening is we can look at this. Right now we're roughly,
Altitudes, right?
we're roughly 2,060 feet above sea level.
Okay.
If we take this and pitch up by pulling back, you'll notice that's going to shoot up.
Yeah.
We're climbing. The other thing that happens is our airspeed drops. See that?
Yeah.
So that's when I have to either add power or not climb anymore.
Okay.
If it drops too much, we stall and fall. We don't want that.
Yeah.
So we're just going to climb up a little bit more. We'll go to 2,500 feet. Coming up on 2,000, there we go, 2,500 feet. I'm going to take the nose and push it down to level off. Now we're flying level again at 2,500 feet. Yeah. So the one thing I will say, try not to get caught up by looking at this stuff because it's impossible to fly perfect.
Okay.
If you stare at that and try to get it perfect, you're going to be like this all over the sky.
Yeah.
You'll never catch it. So what you do is spend the majority of the time looking outside and you just peek at this to see how good you're doing.
Okay. Gotcha.
So when you're ready, you can make a turn to the left and let's start going towards Blue Mountain, Collingwood. So you have control of the aircraft. I'm going to keep my hand close by.
Yeah, in case, yeah.
Yeah, go for it. Very nice. So you probably think we're moving pretty slowly. It looks like it, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're doing about 175 kilometers an hour right now. So we're moving.
Nice. This is awesome.
So right now you're climbing as you're, that's it.
Wow.
So let's not go out over the water. Let's stay along the shore maybe. That way it'll give you a chance to learn how to turn with the shore, follow that. That's it. That's a nice steep turn.
Can I click 3 pictures?
Yeah, okay, I have control. Do whatever you want. This is your airplane for the time we're together. I'm just here to make sure you live. Okay?
Yeah.
I can get a picture of you flying if you'd like.
Sure. We'll take selfie first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll get a picture of you. It's ready to go. I'm assuming I just got to find the button. I don't know if it's getting... Oh, it's that way. Oh, you had it reversed, right?
Yeah.
I got to get your hand on the control. Nice. Beautiful. Good job. It's tough to get out over here and hit the button with one hand.
Yeah.
Looks like there's some cold weather moving in. I can tell by the type of clouds that is over there.
Right on the water?
Yeah. Well, let's stay along the shore. So pull it back that way. So the reason why I say that, if we ever had an engine failure, I don't want to have to land in the water.
Yeah.
I'd rather land in those fields over here.
Okay, yeah.
Not that it's going to happen. This plane has never had an engine failure, ever.
How do you maintain this plane?
I'm sorry?
How do you maintain the engine and everything? There is a proper procedure?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, every manufacturer is different, but you know, this has a very, very strict maintenance schedule. Change the oil every 50 hours in this thing. Those are pretty neat. See those dark line clouds there?
Yeah.
Different temperature changes. It's rare to see those.
Wow.
So there's another airport right over here. You probably can see that long runway.
Yeah. There is a airport like Flying Club near to where I live in Bolton.
Okay,
There's the one in Bolton.
Yeah. But you never went and tried it?
No, no. But I might now.
So hopefully you're able to handle being up here without getting airsick. Sometimes that happens. If you start feeling airsick, let me know on the earlier side and we'll start heading back.
What's the airsick?
Motion sickness?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you get that ever?
No.
Well, let's hope you don't. And sometimes people get it in a plane.
Okay. Yeah, I hope not.
If you do, there is a bag in that pocket down there, inside there, that if you had to throw up.
Okay.
But hopefully you don't get it.
How old is this plane?
This plane is a 2009.
Okay. That's a new, right? Like relatively new age.
Yeah. Yeah, all the modern equipment, full GPS, full autopilot, all that good stuff. So this is the town of Collingwood here.
Must be beautiful in full summer, right?
Oh, it's nice.
Take a fly out.
So green here, everywhere, in the blue water, it's beautiful.
That's all the snow in the water, like frozen? Or?
Yeah, that's ice. It's amazing how far out it goes there.
Yeah.
I bet you that'll all be melted this week. It'll be all
gone?
Yeah. So right in front of us, see the cloud right there?
Yes.
We don't want to hit the cloud, we want to come below it, so you can push down a little bit. That's right. Yeah, you're good at this.
How would you know, like, if there's any other planes around the...
Well, pilots are supposed to talk frequently on the radio. Now, right now I have a frequency on here that's for this area. Now, I should probably let somebody know where we are too, so at least if there's somebody else here, they'll talk back. So I'm going to do that right now.
Collingwood area traffic, SportStar India, Juliet, Kilo Yankee, just coming up over the town of Collingwood, flying the shoreline westbound. On route to Sound, 2,000 feet.
Collingwood traffic, Golf from Bravo Bravo. It's at 4,500 feet, doing some upper air work just 5 miles west of town, Gilmore.
So there's a guy over there.
Approaching altitude.
Up at 5,000 feet.
Okay.
So that's a good reason why we talk on the radio, so now we know where each other is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to see other planes up here because the sky is so big. Very, very hard to find other people.
Any reason why we want to avoid the clouds, or?
Yeah. Temperature. The clouds are full of moisture and they'll freeze on the plane.
Leaving altitude.
So the wings will go through it and become ice.
Yeah.
And if you get ice on the wings, we crash. So that's one big reason. Another reason, we don't have any visibility going through the clouds.
Okay.
So you won't see another plane if you're in there and you can hit them. Or you can lose spatial depth perception and end up putting the plane upside down or something.
Okay.
So there's a few reasons why. And then also legally, you're not allowed to fly through it unless you have a certain type of license.
Okay.
Called an instrument rating.
Leaving altitude.
Wow.
Approaching
So
altitude.
right now we're getting we're about 1,000 feet off of the ground here.
Okay.
Maybe 900 feet off of the ground. We don't want to go any lower than this. So that's Blue Mountain Collingwood Ski Resort there.
Make a U-turn now, or
Yeah.
go that way, or?
Well, the problem with going that way is the cloud is right here.
Oh,
And if we go that way, we have to go up, and we'll end up inside the cloud. So we're going to probably have to go that way. Getting used to it?
yeah.
Nice. So right now you're turning, but you're going down. So just pull back a little bit. There you go. Very nice. Is that vent open right now?
No.
No, huh. Getting a draft.
Leaving altitude.
You have any questions for me about flying?
I don't know what to ask. I mean, a lot to learn, right? I mean, I was looking into licensing and stuff. It takes some time, over like 6-8 months, and get through the test. And
Yeah, it depends on what type of license you want to get and what the purpose of flying for you is.
okay, what about flying a plane like this?
Flying a plane like this, I can tell you right now, it would cost you usually about 25 hours of training.
Okay.
So however quickly you can do 25 hours, some people could do it in a month. Other people
Like
will do
the
it
flying time?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you only got to fly about 25 hours. And it costs about $4,500.
Okay.
Because you're looking at $190 an hour times 25,
Okay.
plus tax. Well, even tax might be a little bit more. So under $5,000 you can get a license in this type of aircraft, which is a two-seater
Approaching
aircraft.
altitude.
You're limited to flying only in the daytime with this type of aircraft. You have to remain within Canada with this type of aircraft.
Leaving altitude.
We're going to start wanting to climb a little bit, and we have to stay away from that airport that's right there.
Okay.
See that runway right there?
Yeah.
So we got to either go this way or that way, but as long as we stay away from it. In Canada, they call this type of plane an advanced ultralight.
Advanced ultralight.
Yep. So that's why the restrictions are a lot less than the private pilot license. The private pilot license costs about $15,000 to $17,000,
Okay.
and that allows you to fly a multiple-seater aircraft with 6, 7 seats, you know, and you can leave Canada with it. And you have less restrictions with the private pilot, but look how much money it costs.
Yeah.
So this, if you just like the idea of flying, this is the way to go because it's so much cheaper. And the license is good for life, or it's good until you have a medical condition that cancels it.
Okay.
So as long as you stay relatively healthy, your license is good for life. If you have a stroke, something like that, you're going to have a problem keeping your license.
So you gotta go out to get medical done every once in a while?
Depends on the license. This type of license, no. You do a self-declared medical, but you don't want to get caught lying.
Okay.
There's a form that you print off, you do the medical, they ask you questions. Do you have diabetes? Do you have this? Do you have that? If you say no, 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 you declared the medical, it's all good, your family doctor signs it, you're okay. If you want to get your private pilot license, you need a Category 3 medical, which means you have to go to an aviation doctor and do one of their medical exams. And you have to do that every so many years.
Do you have an autopilot in this one? Or?
I do, yeah. Yeah, if we push the button, it'll fly by itself. So it's certainly possible if, you know, if somebody has the extra money and a little bit of time. $5,000, you are learning how to fly and you can fly one of these. You can buy ultralights as cheap as $10,000, even cheaper. But they won't look like this.
The plane?
Yeah. You can buy planes as cheap as $6,000, but real funny looking things. This thing's a lot more money. You can get used ones like this for about $70,000.
70, eh?
70 for this type of plane. And the reason why this one's very expensive because of this stuff.
All the GPS.
The type of engine that's in it's worth almost $30,000.
Bells and whistles, completely.
I'm sorry?
All kind of bells and whistles.
Yeah, right.
This one.
Yeah, this got all the upgrades.
Okay. What's the company called?
Evektor.
Evektor.
Yeah. Inside my hangar, I'll show you. There's a poster on the wall with the company name and everything.
And then how? Oh.
You know that? So what that is, that's thermal. That's hot air rising from the ground and pushing us around. You're going to feel more and more of it the further inland we go. The further away from the water. And the lower to the ground you get, the more it's going to move. somebody far away.
Custom. And there's two.
I don't know if you can see on the horizon over here, you can see windmills. All electricity generator windmills. Or look over this way over the wing.
Yep. Yeah. What about like oxygen mask and parachute?
Okay. We'll see what we need.
Well, oxygen mask, only if you're going to go above 10,000 feet do you need to bring oxygen. And they sell it in little canisters. So you bring your own bottle with a little hose and hook it up. Parachute, this airplane, you don't have one. It would be too hard. Well, you could wear one right now. And if you ever had to, you can open the top if you had to and jump out. But I don't know of a time you would ever need that.
Landing is pretty safe.
Well, landing's definitely safe when you know how to do it, for sure. Yeah. It's one of the harder things we learn how to do.
Yeah.
But once you figure it out, it's very safe.
On Friday night, it was quite a windy.
Oh yeah.
And I was coming back from Chicago, and our plane was like.
Yeah, I'm surprised they even flew Friday night. That was very dangerous.
Yeah, I was like, I've never felt that bumpy landing ever before.
I'm surprised they didn't cancel your flight.
It was delayed for like 40 minutes, but.
Yeah. That was very windy. Yeah, this plane could never fly in that kind of wind. The wind is too strong. It would just overtake the controls.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to fight it.
Where are we going right now then?
Wherever you want to go. I don't know. We can go that way. Let's go that way back towards where the airport is, past that direction. Because this way we're kind of going towards, that's Orangeville that way. This is the town of Creemore.
Creemore, okay.
They make beer here. Creemore.
Creemore, yeah. Heard about that.
Yeah, you're getting the hang of this. You're doing well.
Yeah. Where's the airport?
The airport we came from will be in that direction over there, but we still have a half hour.
Okay.
If we keep going straight this way, we'll end up in Barrie. The other area we have to avoid is we can't fly over there. Over there is Canadian Forces Base Borden.
Oh.
So
okay.
military base, we cannot fly near there.
What do you learn in 25 hours? Like pretty much how to go over every single.
Yeah, that's the plan, right? To teach you how to fly the aircraft, how to communicate on the radio, how to.
Ooh.
Yeah, the turbulence is getting good there. That's some wind. Whew. You got to learn navigation, meteorology. Now, a lot of stuff is done in class too, right? You have to do a ground school component to become a pilot. The ground school component is a required 20 hours of in class of a certain syllabus you have to follow. You can do it online. There's a couple of online schools in Canada you can do it with, or you can do it with a guy like my school, where I have classes in class, where you come a few nights, 2 nights out of the week for 3 weeks.
Can we fly over the coastal area, or is it
Yeah, let's
too
go.
far?
We can go that way, of course.
Sure.
So you're going down at the same time. So if y'all, we start going real fast there. Because when you turn, you put the nose down, and it picked up to a lot of speed.
Okay. So when you're going down, you slow down the engine?
Yeah. It's like a car. If you're going down the hill, you don't want to step on the gas. Now, the only difference is, obviously, this is an airplane. If we go too fast going down and something breaks, we're a goner.
Yeah.
So you don't want to put a lot of stress on the airplane, and that puts a lot of stress.
Did you read that news like a couple of weeks ago or something? That guy almost landed on the Gardiner Express.
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw that. That was just bad pilot. Real bad.
This is the kind of plane you can fly, or you have multiple licenses for?
I'm sorry?
This is the kind of plane you can fly, or you got other licenses?
I have other licenses too, but I just chose to open a business and teach people this. Because it's affordable.
Yeah.
You know, once you spend the $5,000 once, you have it for life. So if you look at, there's not many things out there that you can get into for $5,000 and keep it for life, right?
Then what about like storing the plane and everything? That costs a lot too, right?
Depends on the airport, depends on how fancy the facility you need is. Some people are happy with keeping their planes at grass runways.
Okay.
Which might cost you $50 a month for rent to park it inside a barn on a grass runway. Other people want a real fancy, nice paved airport like the one we're at there, with a restaurant and all that. You're going to pay a lot more money for that. You're going to pay $500 a month for that. So it all depends on your taste, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of cheap options in Ontario for storing aircraft.
What kind of gas we use in this?
So right now we're using the high-grade fuel from Shell.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, it's my phone. I thought I shut my ringer off.
That's like the normal gas, or like?
Normal gas, yeah. You could run aviation gas in this, but there's no point because it's more expensive and it doesn't do anything better for this engine.
Okay.
This engine operates best on car gas, but the good grade, 92 octane and above.
Gotcha. What's it showing here? 1,700 feet?
So 1,700 feet is where I set that little blue indicator just to tell you not to go any lower than that. If you go lower than 1,700, we're close to the ground, and I just don't want to be that close to the ground.
Okay. So you set your own limit then?
Yep. Yeah, part of being a pilot is understanding the ground level everywhere you are. Because if you look towards Blue Mountain, look how the ground comes up.
Yeah.
So if I want to be 1,000 feet over the ground, I should know how high that is so I can get up 1,000 feet over it. We can fly as low as 500 feet from the ground legally, but it's dangerous.
It is. Yep.
The closer we get to the ground, the less time we have to react if our engine quits. Up here, if our engine quits, we have a lot of options.
Have you ever been into a situation like that?
Engine failure? Oh yeah. Never in this plane, but yeah. Yeah, engine failure is something we train for in the 25 hours. We do quite a few flights. I'll take my students up there and I'll turn this down and shut it down. And you have to glide and go land.
Okay.
Yep.
Figure out the ways. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, part of it is learning how the airplane operates with no engine and just gliding. Glide, 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 set up yourself for a landing. Now, we obviously don't land on private property, but we'll do those simulations near the airport.
Okay. can paint your own color, or
You could, yeah. Yeah, the only thing you can't do is change the registration of the aircraft. The name has to stay the same.
so this is the
That's the registration. It's like the license plate. Yep.
okay.
And it belongs to the plane, not to the person. So even if you sell this plane, the next person has to use that registration.
Okay. So what? How do you say Charlie?
Charlie, India, Juliet, Kilo, Yankee.
Okay, Charlie. Okay. What's that? That's a canal, or?
Where are we looking? Oh yeah, that is the Wasaga River.
Okay. You can take this plane and fly over Algonquin?
Oh yeah. Huh? You can fly 7 hours with this plane before you need fuel.
How far is Algonquin?
Algonquin Park?
Yeah.
About 45 minutes that way.
Okay.
In the plane. In the car, 2 hours that way. Now, it's a little dangerous flying over Algonquin Park because if your engine quits, there's nowhere to land. There's no runways there.
Part of flying, you always kind of.
You're always thinking of it. Always.
Okay.
So a good pilot, everywhere you go, you're thinking of, if it happens, where am I going? Where am I landing? So even right now, I'm probably going to land on the beach if the engine quits. Because I think we're too far from that place over there, the grass field. So I would go right for the beach.
Okay. This is all salt? Like,
That's ice.
nice, yeah.
It looks like salt. You're right, though.
The way it's built up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like dirt on top of the dirty brown, yeah. So this is Wasaga Beach right down here.
So all those hangars were like individual.
Correct.
You rented one?
Yes.
The turbulence is always hot air pushing up from the.
That's what turbulence is, yes. Not to be mistaken for wind. Wind is different. Wind generally will take a plane and push you. Turbulence will go like this.
Okay.
It's like punching.
Yeah, bouncy.
Yeah.
What about like rain? When there's rain, can you fly? Or?
Oh yeah, you can fly. In this temperature, I wouldn't be flying in the rain because it'll freeze right away.
Okay, yeah.
Because
Build up on your wings. Right?
yeah, every 1,000 feet you go above the ground, you lose 2 degrees in Celsius. So if it's 10 degrees on the ground, you know, it's 8 degrees at 1,000 feet. And so on and so on, 8 degrees, 6 degrees. So if it started raining right now, I would head back for the airport and land because we don't want the wing to turn into a big ice. And that's all it would do, is just ice up.
How people, like, Wasaga is pretty much dead in the winter, right? I mean,
Yeah.
in summer you'll have more people than they can ever handle.
Oh yeah.
Max weight capacity of this plane?
Max weight capacity of this plane is 1,232 pounds. And that's set out by Canada's guidelines. The manufacturer built it for 1,320 pounds, but Canada only allows it to fly at 1,232. And that's part of ultralight regulations.
Okay.
If you're higher than that, you cannot be classified as an ultralight anymore.
Can you make like 8?
Oh yeah, figure 8, go ahead.
Alright.
Yeah, just concentrate on what you're doing.
Alright, so how do we do it?
You're getting it any which way you want. You're free to go any which way you want. Just try not to go down any further. You're going down. There you go. Ah, very nice. That was cool. Nice turn, yeah.
Go back now.
You're going down again, so pull back just a little bit. There you go. Now you're level. Nice.
You gotta buy like insurance and stuff once you start flying?
The insurance is on the airplane, not the pilot.
Okay. How much would be that?
But if you own your own plane,
Yeah.
it all depends on what type of coverage you want. If you just want liability coverage and you're a pilot with maybe 100 hours experience, you're talking maybe $400 or $500 a year.
That's not bad.
For just liability. Where it gets expensive is when you're getting into accidental coverage, where it's very expensive.
What you were doing there, the pushing, that...
What was I doing? Oh, I was just playing.
Okay, nothing?
No.
No fun?
Now this is for heat on our feet, and this is for the defrost vents up here, and this is for allowing the air to come on or off. That's all it is. I was just kind of playing with something.
Okay.
You're doing such a good job, I have no need to fly. See, I'm just playing around.
What's the worst experience you ever had with...
Probably the one that I don't like the most are the people who get very sick.
Okay, yeah.
That's to me, that's the worst. The smell of that, I can't handle it.
Yeah. Flying, you can take care of that.
Oh yeah, I
right?
can take care of the flying. I'm not worried about that.
Even in fall, it must be beautiful to fly.
Oh yeah,
fall,
it's
right?
gorgeous. Yeah, even a few weeks from now will be pretty nice as it starts turning green again. Mid-April or so. So we should probably start turning back towards the direction of the airport.
Okay.
So you can make a left or a right turn, whatever which way you want, and I'll tell you which way it is.
It will make a left turn.
Sure. You're the boss, man. Like I said, you're the boss. I'm here to make sure you live. Hey, watch out, you're climbing.
Okay.
Push that nose down. See how slow it got?
Yeah.
I'm just going to add a bit of power. All right, so the airport we came from is going to be in that direction over there.
So you gotta watch out that you don't climb too
That's
up
right.
or too down and maintain the speed.
That's right.
Okay.
Did you have to text or call to let them know when you're coming back?
Text them now. How long it's gonna be?
10 minutes or so.
Okay.
You want me to take control? I have control.
Yeah.
Just so you're not waiting around in the cold, right? Yeah. I'm gonna make it distracting for you, okay?
I'll take control.
Okay, let me just steer you straight. There you go. You have control. Okay, try not to pull up too much. There you go. Easy, easy.
Yeah.
You're diving.
Oh, okay.
You got it? Oh, you don't even have it. I got it. So the airport we came from is right over here.
Okay.
But we still got 5 more minutes or so. So I'm going to demonstrate something for you just to take this idea out of people's heads that a lot of people have. If we ever did have an engine failure,
Okay.
this is all it would be like. Engine's off. So now we're gliding.
Okay.
So right now I'm looking for a place to land, finding a nice spot to land. We're descending, and we can't stop that But we just have to descend at a certain airspeed, keep it nice and safe. But that's what happens when a plane loses its engine. It's not what you see in the movies when they nosedive.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Active by that.
Yep.
That was like stalling?
Sorry?
That's what you did, stalling?
I never stalled it. I just reduced my power
Okay.
until the engine was at idle. It wasn't doing anything. All right, do you want to take control again?
Sure, yeah.
All right. So let's take us and turn us towards the airport. You're going to bring us to the right. Okay, so the airport is going to be right over here. What we have to do is we have to go to 1,700 feet, and we're going to fly right over top of the airport at 1,700 feet. The airport's a little bit more to the right. I'm going to make a radio announcement.
Altitude.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee is 3 miles east of the field at circuit height. Going to cross overhead the field. Join the mid-left downwind, 3-1.
So do you see the airport in front of us?
Yeah.
So come over this way a little bit more.
Leaving
We're
altitude.
starting to descend a little bit.
Approaching altitude.
So we're, see the long runway going this way, like this?
Yeah.
We're going to go right over top of the middle of it, cut it in half at 1,700 feet. Then after we get on the other side, we're going to have to make a left turn, another left turn, and one more left turn to land.
What's the reason we can't go that and that?
For collision avoidance. So every airport around the world has this procedure called the circuit, or the landing pattern. It's a left-hand pattern. So that way, if another plane's coming here right now, everybody enters the same way.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, if we were coming all from different angles, we would hit people all the time.
Yeah.
Now, of course, if it was an emergency, you can do whatever you
I
have
can
to.
see their car.
Oh, yeah?
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankees overhead the field to join the mid-left downwind, 3-1.
It's 1,700 feet, that's like requirement? Or?
Yeah, you have to be 1,000 feet over the ground to do this procedure.
Go left now or?
Sorry?
Go left now?
Not yet. A little bit further, but we got to stay at 1,700 feet.
How do you, like, once, let's say I reach 1740, is there any way I can continue on that, hit some button and...
The autopilot could do that, yeah. Now we're going to make a left turn that way.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankees turning mid-left downwind, 3-1, full stop.
So now we want to go parallel to the runway in this direction.
Leaving altitude.
You're climbing up a little bit. That way. Have a look over to your left, you'll see the runway there. Now we're parallel.
Yep.
And we're going to fly in this direction for a little bit. When the runway is 45 degrees off of our shoulder, we're going to make a left turn that way.
Approaching altitude.
All right, right around here, we're going to make another left turn at 1,700 feet.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankees, turning left base, 31, full stop.
All right, this is where it's going to get exciting. So we're going to level this way, nice and straight in this direction. All right, this is where I got to slow the plane down. So I'm going to start reducing power. And we got to get the airspeed to 65 knots. So we do that by pulling back on the stick just a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to put flap number 1 on. Feel that?
Yeah.
Flap number 2.
Leaving
Now we're
altitude.
pointed towards the ground. And we got to use this. I'm going to do it with you, okay? Because this is tricky.
Okay.
I'm going to have to add a little bit of power because we're starting to sink a little bit too fast. I want to stay nice and high. We're going to make a turn when we're ready towards the runway, but not yet.
Okay.
So just stay on the control with me and just feel what I'm doing.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankees, turning final, 31, full stop.
That's what they call final approach. And now we're in the center. So we control our speed all the way towards the ground with the stick. If we want to slow down, which I do, I'm pulling back on it.
Okay.
I want to keep it at 65. If I want to get faster, I just push that nose down like that and it'll pick up speed, but I don't want speed yet. So we're getting close, so I'm just going to start reducing the power. Right now I'm just really focused on number 3-1, right, painted on the runway.
Yeah.
That's where I'm aiming for, and I'm just reducing power accordingly. Now the engine's doing nothing. Engine's off. A little bit windy right now. Just a little bit windy. It's making it real tricky. Wow. It is windy. Safe and sound, man.
Yeah.
You did well.
Thank you.
You did really well.
Wow.
All right. So how was that?
Awesome.
Beautiful. And the camera's
yes.
still rolling. That's good.